Yo, what's good? Today I want to talk to you about courage, bro. Oh, courage, what a topic. I look at courage as not necessarily an opportunity. Well, like sometimes actually. It can be an opportunity to grow for sure. But more so, it is a skill set. And in that skill set, cultivate what we call our experiences, right? You don't have courage to take a step forward, you're not going to have courage to appreciate something. You're going to have courage to receive from something. You're going to have courage to dive into new relationships which could impact your life in such a profound aspect. So, there are 5 topics that have to do with courage and essentially having courage and what that will bring forth for you ultimately, my friend. First things first, the courage to begin. That's that initiation energy, that ready to begin energy, right? To learn through action, and each beginning it rewires our brain for initiative over hesitation. When you live in hesitation, you're lacking the stemming forth into the fruition of what it is that can actually impact your life, obviously, right? Your confident output is essentially going to agree with you or disagree with you, right? If you have a conceit in your heart, right? Conceit in your mind, in your soul, in your spirit of being, then courage or being overly confident can destroy things from occurring, right? So how do you go about courage? How do you rewire your mind to actually enable situations to your benefit utilizing courage? First of all, boldness is a tool, right? The courage to speak your truth essentially creates vocal sovereignty, or if that's the right way of saying it. So vocal sovereignty. It creates it in a way that allows you to navigate the scenarios which will, lack for better words, give you a moment to understand what it is about you that one matters, right? Courage shows definitely your quality of character, not only to others, but to yourself. Dignity, right? How are you absorbing and expressing dignity in life? So focus is definitely one of the biggest things when it comes to developing and expressing courage, right? Expressing your authentic thoughts, your emotions, your values, and even unpopular opinion that don't align sometimes justifiably with others. With you in mind, and you don't know how it's going to affect a group of people until you put forward your courage to express these things, right? It is an experience boost, and you build alignment between the inner and the outer self, which fuels charisma and trustworthiness, right? Because the more you are able to align with who you are on your inner values and express them on the outer value, you then begin to see the reality, or so to speak, the matrix. What if I told you the matrix is a world of courage being blocked? Whoa! So that output is very important. Definitely the practice by sharing one honest truth each day can actually help you as a person. People tend to hold themselves and mirror themselves with a image that doesn't necessarily expand on who they are. So they live literally a day going forward without being honest about something or someone or scenario. And because of that, it wires them in this modality of being, this average way of being that keeps them on the back burner in a routine of life, of what they say life is. And it's just quite robotic. Truth telling definitely sharpens your voice. So I do recommend that you have one honest truth a day that you express to someone or something. The courage to fail is a sacred risk. I say it's sacred because no one ever in life cultivated any memorable experience or stamp without realizing the sacredness behind failing, right? That risk alone is what creates the wisdom in the mind. That wisdom allows you to experience, to appreciate, to realize, to defeat the object that's in front of the way of you achieving, right? A sacred fuel for wisdom is the possibility of failure, right? That fuel, it comes from diving into a place of sometimes breakage even, and then being built back, being molded, right? Your courage allows you to be molded and not scolded, right? Your courage is your willpower also, what keeps you in a line with, boom, let's go, right? Number 4 is that you have to have the courage to be seen, right? We tend to avoid success. We fear success because we fear being seen. We fear being known. We fear having our message be taken out of context and turning back against us, right? So we try to reserve ourselves in a quiet life of so-called peace, when really we're living in the simultaneous cycle of chaos because of the reality we've bred based upon our own old school set of values that have been preconditioned or programmed into our experience. So letting yourself be visible in your raw and perfect glory on stage is an important value, whether that's online or in love. So what I recommend that you do when it comes to this kind of scenario is that you share things that you've expressed or created or ideated upon, right? Share your unfinished work. When you share your unfinished work, you allow others to see the schematic behind you. You allow them to understand more deeply where the confidence is blooming inside of your soul. And sometimes that turns into feedback with people who love you, with friends even, and just family in general that really know how to keep you kept in your focus. Not everyone's going to be on par with your confidence. A lot of people are going to turn against you, to be honest. This is not sugar-coated, and this is not a rose-colored glass video. But definitely, you will have some feedback where people don't want to hear from you. They don't even want you to show up, right? You want to show up because you want to make something out of your life, but they don't want you to show up. Regardless, don't mope over these things or get demotivated in a place that you focus so harshly on their harsh judgments that they've broken you down, right? Confidence blooms through exposure, my friend. Last but not least is the courage to walk alone. Oh my God. Divine independence, right? Your natural state of being, your ability to even create and foundation a world of experiences and a world of innovation, a world of creativity even, is what creates the divine independence in you. It is what is facilitated by the divine independence in you. The courage to walk alone really shows making choices based on your inner knowing, even if it isolates you, because at the end of the day, what's going to give you that profound sense of not only authority, but that profound sense of joy and fulfilledness, if that's the right word, in your heart and in your soul, is going to be based on that inner knowing, and also sometimes isolating yourself in a way that is not surrounding you, well, is deterring you from being surrounded by individuals which they say are fake, right? Or fake love, right? Or no, don't necessarily want to see the best for you. So you take the time rather instead to experience and cultivate the experience you need out of life. And it's not to say there's selfishness, because obviously, of course, God, amen, for being with us in this experience, in this wholesome value, conditioned, let's say, reality, and God being the freedom in the heart of our aspect, right? So that, anyways, regardless, what I want to say to you is that your courage to walk in independence is so valuable, and you should really embrace the solace sometimes in the isolation, right? Solitude forges your voice. You become your own reference point at that. And because you take that solo day, you want to take a solo day. You want to make sure you take a solo day that allows you to meditate on what you've been prioritizing in your life, what you've been making have a valued essence in your life. Don't dilute what has kept you in strength, right? Don't dilute what has given you a blessing. Count your blessings, my friend. Count your blessings. Don't dilute it. Anyways, that's all I wanted to leave you with today. I hope that helps you in some way or form. This is where I stand with things. I try to anyways. There are days where I'm like, oh, fudge, bro. I want to approach this situation or this person, but I don't know how. And this evolves into, it's constantly evolutionary where you're going in life, especially with courage and confidence, because you're always going to meet a step layer where you have to step forward into something that might nerve-wrack you. For example, a man who has money versus a man who does not have money. Do you know that money creates confidence? Of course I know that, you say. Yes, money creates courage and confidence. It creates stabilization of the character, of the modality of who you are on your highest note. So I think it is valuable to encourage others to understand the concept of putting money first. I just want to leave you with that because I feel like some people who watch this video might not have money. They might be stuck in life or feel like they're scapegoated out of life. You know what, buddy? Put money first. And also focus on God in your heart. I'm not saying to make money your master, of course not. I'm saying to understand the importance and the destruction brought forth from the negligence of understanding the importance of